All right, welcome everyone. I am so glad you're joining me today. We're diving right into this explainer, and I'll be honest with you right up front. This is going to serve as a fundamental, absolutely no-nonsense reality check about U.S. employment-based immigration. We see a whole lot of noise out there, flashy promises, guaranteed approvals, agencies pushing these quote-unquote easy visas. But today, we are stripping all of that away. We're going to look strictly at the hard facts, the law, and the actual physical reality of the EB-3 Other Workers program. So if you're seriously interested in understanding how this whole thing actually works, you are in the exact right place. Okay, let's dive into our roadmap for today. We're going to cover the U.S. workforce shortage reality, understanding the EB-3 visa itself, the reality of the jobs on the ground, the required work ethic, managing your expectations, and finally, discipline and transparency. Starting right off with Section 1, U.S. Workforce Shortage Reality, Beyond the Golden Spoon. I want you to consider this really powerful reality. America does not only need people born with a golden spoon, right? The United States is actively seeking hardworking, dedicated folks to help build the future. It's not just sitting around looking for individuals with massive existing advantages. America is quite literally built every single day by regular people who show up, follow the law, and contribute with absolute honesty and real effort. And this brilliantly illustrates exactly what we're talking about. We aren't talking about abstract ideas here. We are talking about documented, critical labor shortages happening right now. Just look at the specific needs across the country. We've got cleaning and warehousing gaps in New Jersey, manufacturing needs in North Carolina, a huge food service demand in South Carolina, and massive fulfillment operations in Texas looking for help. These employers, they aren't just looking for visa applicants. They desperately need actual, reliable employees to keep the supply chain alive. And fun fact, fulfillment workers in Texas, they can easily walk over 10 miles a single shift just moving inventory. So yeah, they need people who are literally ready to move. Let's move on to Section 2, understanding the EB-3 visa, what it is, and importantly, what it isn't. So the absolutely crucial point here is understanding the massive difference between all those false promises you see online and the actual legal reality. The EB-3 Other Workers program is not some random lottery. It is not an investment scheme where you can just write a check, and it's certainly not a magical shortcut or an easy visa. The reality? It's an employer-sponsored permanent residency category that is strictly governed by complex U.S. immigration laws. You're being sponsored for one incredibly simple reason. A company desperately needs your labor. Period. Which brings us to Section 3, the reality of the jobs. We're talking about essential physical labor. First up, production helpers. I want to be perfectly clear. This is highly physical work. You're going to be on your feet, doing the heavy lifting required to keep industrial environments running smoothly. You'll be physically moving materials back and forth across massive warehouse floors and actively assisting production teams. It is essential and it is highly demanding labor. Next, we've got utility workers and janitors. In these roles, you're dedicating your day to general support tasks, cleaning huge facilities and maintaining incredibly strict workplace hygiene standards. This means mopping floors, scrubbing down work areas, and organizing industrial workspaces. Let's be real, it's unglamorous work, but think about it. Imagine a massive manufacturing factory without them. It would literally shut down in a single day. This is vital backbone work. Then there are crew members in the fast food and food chain industry. These roles are incredibly fast-paced. It involves standing for long hours, non-stop food preparation, cleaning hot kitchens, and providing essential customer service support. It requires constant attention, serious physical stamina, and a really high level of energy just to keep up with the daily rush. Now, what's really interesting, and honestly the most grounding reality check on this slide, is the math. We're talking about a realistic annual starting salary range of $25,000 to $35,000. To put that into perspective, that boils down to roughly $15 or $16 an hour. It's a starting point, it provides a living for sure, but it requires serious personal budgeting and a ton of hard work. We are setting the expectations right here, right now. This is the genuine financial reality of stepping into these essential roles. And that leads us to Section 4, the required work ethic, because your mindset really matters here. You have to ask yourself and answer honestly, are you actually willing to work? Are you willing to follow instructions? And are you genuinely willing to commit to the employer who sponsors you? We are talking about a real commitment of 1 or more years of sincere, hard, physical work after you receive your permanent residency. If you're just looking for a shortcut to secure a green card first and then maybe decide if you feel like working later, I'll be straight with you, this is absolutely not for you. The core mindset required is this: absolute discipline, complete honesty, and a serious long-term commitment to performing these essential jobs. The United States isn't looking for perfect people. Actually, it's looking for reliable people. It takes profound patience to build your future step by step in a new country. It requires you to genuinely want to learn, to contribute, and to do these jobs with total integrity. Section 5. Managing your expectations. Let's talk about the hard truth about timelines. I absolutely love this because there's a classic rule in sales psychology that brilliantly illustrates immigration timelines. If you want something cheap and fast, well, it's not going to be good. Those are your scams, the false promises, the sketchy groups telling you they can get you to America overnight. But realistically, if you want something that's good, legitimate, and relatively affordable, it is simply not going to be fast. A legal pathway involves checking the visa bulletin, going through the Department of Labor, waiting on USCIS processing. It takes immense patience. It cannot, under any circumstances, be rushed. Let's see how this builds into the absolute rules of the whole process. We need to completely dispel the whole 100% guaranteed approval myth right this second. Here are the facts. Every single case is different. Your specific eligibility must be strictly reviewed. Government approval is absolutely never guaranteed. Processing times are going to vary wildly based on government backlogs. And finally, the final decision belongs solely to the U.S. government. Anyone telling you otherwise is straight up not telling you the truth. Moving to our final part, Section 6, Discipline and Transparency, the CIVA USA Inc. approach. Now, CIVA USA Inc., they're an organization based out of New York, and they deeply believe that successful immigration literally begins with transparency. Their whole focus is strictly on process education, lawful awareness, ethical communication, and professional coordination. They aren't here to sell you a fairy tale dream. They're here to rigorously screen serious candidates who understand both the immense opportunities and the very heavy responsibilities involved in this process. They avoid misleading information at all costs and focus entirely on the facts. I want to share this guiding principle from them because it beautifully sums up the entire journey. Small steps, daily discipline, extraordinary destinations. Success in this immigration process, and honestly, success in life in America, doesn't come from some magical shortcut. It comes from consistent, daily, totally unglamorous effort. It's simply about being better than you were yesterday, following the law, and actually showing up to work. So I'm going to leave you with this final, really critical self-reflection. Ask yourself right now, why do you want to come to the USA? Are you looking for a real job, or are you only chasing a green card? Are you truly prepared for the demanding physical work it takes? Look, if you are genuinely ready to work with honesty, discipline, and profound patience, then legitimate opportunities may actually exist for you, but it all starts with facing the reality of the journey ahead. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer today. Keep learning, stay disciplined, and I will catch you in the next one.